Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. For 35 years, New Life has been transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Welcome to New Life Live. So glad you are here. You know, tomorrow is our Intimacy and Marriage Weekend, and you probably, if you called right now, could still sign up if you told them I said, let them in. Might not be possible, but I think it might be. And the people you hear in the background are joining me today, two of my favorite people in the entire universe or even the megaverse.
Ooh.
Wow.
We got a big upgrade there, Mark.
Dr. Alice Benton
Howdy.
and Marc Cameron.
Hi,
It's always
guys.
a joy being with you, too.
Looking forward to Intimacy and Marriage tomorrow. I can't wait. I'm going to be there.
I have a question for you. People have difficult conversations they know they need to make. How can we, because of the reaction it's going to cause, how do you prepare people to have the difficult conversation that might cause an upheaval in every way in life? What do you say to the folks that need to make the tough talk reality, even though you know it's going to produce some big, big pain and struggle?
Well, I actually did a Club New Life video on that recently, Steve, because I've noticed that many people call in about that. How do I have this conversation? And I think what stops a lot of people doing it is what you're saying there. We're scared of conflict, or we're scared of hurting other people's feelings, but then that just kind of keeps us stuck in that problem.
Yeah.
And conflict can actually bring us closer together if we do it right. And so I think in learning, in having those conversations, I think a lot comes down to the preparation. And if you can have both parties be emotionally prepared, I think that's going to be a good predictor of the outcome. And so a couple of tips I would say is asking for someone, scheduling a time with someone to have the conversation with them. And then when you start off with something that you appreciate about that person, right?
Yep, that's
Let
key.
the defensives kind of come down, right? And then when you have that conversation, speak about, how it's impacting you. What are the emotions that are rising up in you rather than just the perceived facts? Because it's harder to argue with your emotional experience, and then come up with a mutually beneficial goal. Like how is the outcome, what the request that you've got at the end, how's it going to be helpful for them too?
Very good. Alice, you have anything to add to that?
Well, I validate that I think these emotionally charged conversations with important people in our lives can be some of the most terrifying things we have to face. It's taken me years to have a conversation I knew was going to disappoint my parents. And so my preparation was writing letters I didn't send, role-playing with safe people, imagining the worst possible outcome and preparing for it, and then knowing prayerfully that even if it is the worst possible outcome, God and the people that love me are going to help me face it and help me through it.
Well, we did a program together one day, long time ago, and the son had molested the daughter at 14, and it wasn't reported. Kept secret. Well, who knows what would have happened if it had been? It's a tough call to make. And yet, perhaps the mandatory treatment that the boy would go through, well, maybe that would set a whole different course. So often, the shame is just so hard to overcome that you just live into it. We don't want that to happen. In fact, gift of any amount, I'll send you our 100 Days to Freedom from Shame. Maybe someone you know needs that devotional book. It really is life-changing. We'll take a break. 1-800-229-3000. That's the number where you can be on the program with us. We love you. We care about you. We really do want to make a difference in your life. We have to know you want to make a difference, so you call us here or you call us 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I'm 433 pounds.
How long have you weighed that much?
I've probably been over 300 at least 15, 20 years. I'm 39. I feel like I've just been a failure in every area of my life.
Does this sound like your story? It doesn't have to. If you want to live free of obsessions and compulsions in your eating habits, New Life's Lose It for Life online workshop can help. This online workshop features a one-day Zoom session presented by Steve Arterburn on Saturday, March 18th. Plus breakout sessions led by a credentialed New Life Network counselor. Fitness expert Michelle Spadafora will lead exercise sessions, plus you'll receive exercise gear to allow you to start a home fitness routine you'll actually enjoy. If you're finally ready to stop going from diet to diet and begin a comprehensive plan that addresses the psychological, emotional, and spiritual aspects of a healthy lifestyle, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or go to newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. Glad that you're with us here today. And, there are some topics that just we deal with all the time. And we have help for just about anything. The only thing I know we don't have any help for is some kind of obsession with fishing. Nor do we need to help that obsession with fishing. It's very healthy. Just want to throw that in. I was raised on a lake. But, marriage, parenting, sexual addiction, betrayal, weight loss, emotional freedom, so much more. We have books, videos, workshops, articles, groups, counselors, coaches, so many different ways to help you. And it really is a sign of strength and a sign of wisdom to reach out and get help from someone else when you've exhausted all that trying hard stuff. Because as you've discovered, trying harder just makes trying harder. So you can give that up and get some help. Right now, we're going to go to the phones, talk to Carlos, who has called us at 1-800-229-3000, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, WBYN. Hey, Carlos, how are you today?
Hey, Steve, how you guys doing?
Doing okay. We would love to help you, and we're ready.
All right. I'm not really sure how to start. After giving you a little brief history, my focus is trying to find someplace that I can go to get the help that I need to help free me from a lot of the strongholds that I've been battling with all my life.
Okay, well, tell us what those are. What are you struggling with?
Well, I'm academically challenged. I can read, but it's a very painful struggle for me.
Okay.
But that's not my concern or issue. I've experienced bullying, abandonment. I've always been expendable. I was never good enough for anyone to keep.
Why do you say that? Tell us a reason or an example of that.
Well, sexually, I've been inexperienced, and my ex-wife, instead of trying to understand the trauma that I went through, she basically didn't care and criticized me for it. But we were having issues in our marriage pertaining to being able to relate to each other because there just wasn't any love there.
What was the trauma that you went through?
Well, I was sexually abused as a young teenager in a group home by a group of guys, and I was made to perform oral sex on one kid repeatedly because I was afraid of him and he used to bully me. Prior to prior to that, I always found myself, and I didn't understand what it was at the time. I mean, we're talking about between the ages of 2.5 to 10 years old when I first learned how to masturbate and indulge in self-pleasure and satisfaction to kind of alleviate the, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that has continued even to this day.
So
there's a lot, Steve.
let me
There's
just
an
say
awful
this.
lot
Well,
that
let me say
stuff.
this. What you've been through, have you ever had any kind of help with that kind of trauma? Because that's, at that age, any age, that's horrible.
I had been to counseling. I mean, the first, I was first introduced to counseling when I was about maybe 10 and a half, 11 years old.
How old are you now? How old are you now?
I'm 57. I'll be, Lord willing, I'll be 58 come April.
And Carlos, tell us the therapist or the form of therapy you stuck with the longest. How long was it, and how did it benefit you?
Well, you know, it really didn't. You know, I mean, at an adolescent age, I look forward to going to the child guidance clinic because I felt a sense of freedom there. I was.
So yes. Carlos, suffice it to say, nothing has helped you very much. That's been your experience. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's
yes.
about the side.
And I think you've had repeat patterns of being in relationship with people who do not care about you and eventually leave you.
Well, yeah, that's about it.
Yes, and so I would think that you have probably given up on people in recent years because of all of these awful experiences. Have you isolated yourself?
Well, no, I haven't. Here's the thing, and you probably could attest to this. Today, people are impossible to communicate with because everybody's on their phone and nobody is able to hold a conversation.
I'm going to interrupt you, Carlos, because you called and you wanted us to help you, and we want to do that. I can tell you this, that the help that's available today to help you with that trauma, where it has no real estate in your brain, it wasn't available years ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, I started working in mental health in 1977, and if somebody had said, do you know a trauma therapist? Well, they wouldn't even ask the question. We didn't even talk about it much, except for a soldier fighting in the war, coming back, head trauma, things like that. But there is help available to you today that is not just there. It's fantastic when it's done well. It's life-changing.
I believe.
So,
however,
what
I don't
is
know
it?
Where to go, Steve.
Okay, well, we're going to help you with that. But what is the question when you called? What were you wanting to ask us or wanting help with? Because, you know, you've got plenty of people you can tell the story to. We want to try to help you change that story. So what is it you want help with?
I want help with everything. There's a lot that I haven't covered, and I just need to be able to talk to somebody who cares enough to listen to try to understand. Yes. You know, help me get, you know, the help that I need.
Yeah, I hear that, and I want to help you. Go ahead.
I've got a thought
Mark.
for you, Carlos, here, because I heard that I did hear a question kind of in there right at the beginning. You were talking about a place to go. And so one thing I wanted to speak to, my heart breaks for you. You have been through a lot of trauma. It sounds like you were abandoned by your parents early on in life, you know, being academically challenged. You know, that just hurts a kid early on in their confidence levels. And that's what I hear you talking about too. And then just the bullying then because of that, and then the sexual abuse in the group home. It sounds like it's caused a lot of shame that's happened in your life, and what shame does to us is it attacks us right at our identity, and we form these negative beliefs about ourselves, and sometimes we're not even consciously aware what exactly the negative beliefs are. And there's a type of therapy called EMDR, eye movement desensitization reprocessing therapy, and it's specifically used to help people deal with trauma. And you've had a lot of trauma in your life, and as part of EMDR, what we do is we help the person identify that shame statement about themselves. And I've got a few for you that I wonder might be true. And some of them I thought about here was, I'm not good enough, or I'm not strong enough, especially when you were, you felt like pressure that you were scared of that person who you had to perform oral sex on, or I'm powerless. And it also, I wonder if there's one in there where it's, I can't get better. And that's where you haven't really kind of found that bond with the right therapist, or you haven't really kind of made that step. So I would encourage you to look into, maybe we can help you find a therapist here who's certified in EMDR, who can help you try that type of therapy and see how that works for you.
Yeah, it could really change everything. But the other thing, go ahead.
Man.
Go ahead.
I just share one other thing that I don't understand. Okay. Prior to the sexual abuse and the bullying and all of that, and having to be taken out of school and put into a private school for special ed students and kids with other kind of social issues or what have you, I, for the life of me, cannot understand why at such a young age, and I'm talking about, I'm telling you, I can remember as far back as 1.5 to now.
Yes. Okay. What do you want to share?
I don't know why I have been turned on by cross-dressing, and not so much watching people who cross-dress, but engaging in. I mean, it has just gone from experimental to like full-fledged, outright public expression.
Okay.
Carlos,
and I know
we can help you. We can help you with this, Carlos. Alice, go ahead.
Carlos, I'm so proud of you for sharing that. That could be a very difficult thing to explain to us, to share with us. I want to tell you something, Carlos. Everyone I have worked with who has engaged in cross-dressing, although we all started with the question mark, why? Why am I doing this? Why am I attracted to it? When we dug far enough, when we looked through the losses, particularly the maternal losses, when there wasn't a loving, caring woman who was there consistently for us, we tend to find some very understandable reasons why there would be an appeal to that. So I don't know your reason, but I know without a doubt, Carlos, that our behavior and our emotions make sense when we look deep enough for long enough. And I can tell you have a God-given gift, sir. And that is the gift of perseverance, that you are still seeking mental health in the right form of treatment after a lifetime of disappointment tells me you have the God-given gift of perseverance. And Carlos, I've spoken with people who went through 17 different therapists to find the right one. I myself went through 7 different groups before I found the right fit for me. And so I need you to apply your gift of perseverance to seeking out therapy and telling the next therapist that we connect you with, I don't think therapy works for me because it never has before, because we can find you the right fit that will dig into that problem and the cross-dressing question you have and the trauma you have gone through. So do not give up, because there are reasons why you are drawn to what you are drawn to.
Well, and Carlos, your sexuality, your identity, masculinity was all hijacked when you were forced to perform sexual acts or they were done to you. When I went to the Every Man's Battle workshop a couple of Saturdays ago, J.J. West started with this. Some of you, you're not here for pornography. A lot of people think that's what it isn't. You're here because you have a same-sex attraction. Some of you are, there it was, cross-dressers. we're going to help you with that so that you can live beyond it and not have shame. Now, I'm going to see if we can't get you to one of those Every Man's Battle workshops.
Yes.
But look, when our sexuality is so assaulted the way yours was, there are all sorts of things, connections, deviations that start to sprout as a result. Both of my brothers were molested, and things happened as a result. And they happened to you. It's not strange or weird that cross-dressing might be the thing that you spun into or obsessed over. But there's healing, and there's hope, and there's transformation. We'll talk about that after this.
My husband was involved with pornography addiction.
He was unfaithful. I called the wedding off. He stepped out on the marriage and ended up having a child.
The Restore Workshop is designed for a woman dealing with a man's sexual addiction issues.
My husband is a recovering sex addict.
There were strip clubs, other ladies.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Workshop will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
Restore has empowered me and has given me the tools to work through my anger, work through my pain, work through my confusion, and help me realize that I am worthy.
Being here and being surrounded by people who get it has given me my power back.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Orange County, California, February 24th through the 26th. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or online at newlife.com.
Thank you, Restore. You have changed my life forever.
Chris Williams on coaching.
Oftentimes I get asked, what is the difference between therapy and coaching? The biggest difference between the two is that a therapist is going to be looking for a diagnosable mental health condition, whereas a coach is going to look at a particular issue and help a person work through that.
If you need a coach, call New Life today and ask about the New Life Coaching Network. Our coaches have been trained and screened with the same intensive process we use for our network counselors.
If you're looking at an issue in your life that you just kind of want to change, whether it be your weight or leadership or other areas of behavioral patterns, check out coaching. There can be some really, really helpful things for you.
Take control of your life and take action to achieve your goals. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 and talk to us about getting a New Life coach. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. So glad that you're with us. Carlos, I'm going to send you Every Believer's Thought Life. We have a path in that book to go deep, and we have a path with strategies to help you just day to day. And I'm going to send that to you. And I'm just hoping and praying that we can facilitate you coming to Every Man's Battle, because, it would be so beneficial to you. You would have so much insight and freedom. I know how horrific abuse can be, bullying can be, and I also know the freedom when we finally deal with the issue head on. So hang on. We want to talk to you about Every Man's Battle, and I want to send you Every Believer's Thought Life. Probably, in the top 2 or 3 books that I've written. Marcus Brotherton is my co-author. We wrote a book together before this one, Book of the Year. I think this one might be Book of the Decade. All right, 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you need some help. If you want to join us, 1-800-229-3000. Anything either of you want to say about Carlos and revealing what must have been very hard for him to share?
My admiration. That kind of humility and courage is what leads to breakthrough, Carlos.
Yeah, really does. Okay, how about we go to our next caller, and that's going to be Mark from Calistoga, California, and he listens on the New Life app, which is so easy to do. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Hey, Steve, can you hear me okay?
Yes, but could you is there any way to take us off of anything, because there's an echoey thing there, but...
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to pull over.
All right.
Thank you.
While I pull over here, I am going to say that I'm a New Life Club member.
Yay.
Awesome.
But just recently, although I've listened for years, my wife has listened for years, my ex-wife, excuse me, and I've recently bumped it from 30 to 40 because you asked me to, because you guys have done so much in my life and others that I encourage everyone to bump it up $5 or $10 because things are different now than they were when you joined New Life.
Yes.
And thank you so much. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, and thank you for those words. It's why we started New Life 35 years ago, and thanks for pulling over, too. It really inspires me and motivates me to give you the best help possible. And I guarantee you, Alice and Mark can do that. But what's on your mind?
Okay, my head has been severely traumatized physically as an aggressive child, smashing my head, running into a big elm tree, full speed, playing football, being aggressive, getting in fights, and having my head kicked in 2 different fights pretty severely. Been in a motorcycle accidents, one that crushed me pretty good and did me a severe head injury and a crack at the base of my skull. And as I've been talking to a EMB Sustained Victory Frank, who called in last week, I think, and told you about his experiences, we realized that our head trauma plus our physical and emotional abuse as children, we still are walking on crutches. And I was, being 69, almost 70, I'm going, okay, I need to get this brain fixed because my dad died of Alzheimer's. He had his own physical issue where his mother raised him, his father rejected him. So I was basically... But anyway, Dr. Amen, Steve, you have said that you have gone to him and had scans, and I want to spend part of my retirement, Ira, on going to him and I've always been a quick fixer, quick pleasure, sexual, drugs, motorcycles, purchases, alcohol. I need to spend some time and see if I can get this brain straightened around so I can live the last 10 or 15 or whatever years I have left without my brain trauma severely impacted me with some kind of dementia or disease here.
Now, Mark, how old are you? How old are you? Yes, he's helped me.
69, be 70 in June.
Okay. I'm 69. I'll be 70 in June. What's your birth date?
6/15, June 15th.
I'm 18, so you're much younger. I mean, older. You're older than me. Sorry. But Mark.
Yeah, well, okay, well, listen, young man.
Yes, sir.
You tell him, Mark.
Yes, sir. I went to Dr. Amen, and there were just so many things that were revealed to me. You know, one of the tests we took, like 20 pictures of expressions on people's faces, and of all the things, I did worse on that. I knew I was going to take it again 6 months later, so I found those pictures online and I studied those faces. And when I came back to him 6 months later, I did worse. You know, I am somewhere on some spectrum. Very difficult for me in facial expression. But once I knew that, I had something to work on. But he provided insight, supplements, and a couple other things that are life-changing. And so I recommended him to many people. But I've got another recommendation I want to suggest to you.
it had become very apparent that some of the things I was involved with were taking over my life.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. It's just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. New Life's Every Man's Battle Workshop can help.
After 7 years, just one weekend, a completely changed man.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Workshop.
He said, I think this is something that every man should go to. Married, dating, it was definitely life-changing.
Now the workshop is coming to Dallas, Texas, March 3rd through the 5th. Don't wait for him to call. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com.
I just can't say enough of what New Life has done for our marriage.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I have given to New Life regularly because I have so many people that I am referring to New Life who so benefit from the ministry. I just can't imagine what would happen in my area if New Life wasn't available to us.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of all 8 100-day devotionals, including 100 Days of Prayer, 100 Days of Freedom from Depression, and 100 Days of Peace. There are also ongoing benefits like the monthly Club New Life CD or download, access to the Club New Life video library, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, discounts on workshops, and quarterly online meetings with Steve. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and really glad that, Mark, you have heard us talk about Dr. Amen, and you want his team to do a workup and help you there. I think it'll be amazing. But I want to tell you about one other thing, and this is something everybody, I think, should hear if you have a brain injury. The person who worked for Amazon, brilliant, one of the first people, you can imagine what that stock's worth now, but he had a head injury. And someone hit him with a baseball bat. And so he found and created, he's the one that created the software, if you like this book, you'll like this book. He did that for Amazon in the very beginning. So he created a software, and he took these, the brains of monks meditating, and, they had these certain waves that it was like their brain was at peace. He put it into a software program, and the gentleman that I was introduced to by Dr. Keffer is Rick Tansey. Rick was thrown off. He was robbed in a hotel, thrown off the balcony onto his head. So he discovered what was created by the former Amazon employee, and I went through what they do. When I went in there, they hooked up electrodes and they presented to me my brain and the energy levels and things like that, and it was all on the left side. After I finished with him, he did the same thing. It was perfectly balanced. Whoa. I can't sit still for 10 minutes other than radio, and I sat there in a chair for 3.5 days, and it was the most pleasant, wonderful experience, and I need to go back and get retooled again because it was a few years ago. But I recommended that to someone who had panic attacks, and it was they were really debilitating. They went to Rick. They do not have panic attacks anymore. His organization is called Saraset, or the mother organization is called Saraset. And I can give you that phone number if you'll give I think we have your number, but we'll give that to you so you can make that call. But it's one of those things that actually works. Now, is that Christian counseling? Rick is the most committed Christian ever, but that's not Christian counseling. It's a technology that has been developed to help people who have traumatic brain injury. So I'll send that on to you, but I do want to hear from Alice and Mark, anything they want to add to this?
Mark, an additional aspect to consider is that we know that justified resentment and unforgiveness take a major toll on the immune system and brain health. And that if we work towards forgiveness, both self, of the choices, the poor choices I've made, and others, because that's all over these stories you've mentioned about your life, forgiveness also enhances brain health, body health, and soul health.
Mark?
Yeah, and I can't remember. And
Can
Mark.
I ask one more question?
Sure, go ahead.
Also, through all this, I have a difficult time loving, especially because I don't understand love.
Sure.
I don't know how to love other men, and I've always been drawn to women, and I'm trying to love like Jesus loves to understand this, and I think this is all part of my brain, of course, also. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Mark, you had a comment.
Yeah, I think. And did you say, Mark, that you've been to Dr. Amen, or you've just heard us talk about Dr. Amen? I can't remember what you said about that.
No, I've heard Dr. Amen on your show several times, many times, and I've also wanted to go to him and spend the resources to try to do more than just a quick fix.
Yeah, so I do recommend going to.
use for God.
Yeah, I do recommend going to see someone, whether it's Dr. Amen or it's a psychologist, someone to get tested, because some of the things that you're saying about being an aggressive child, I wonder if some of that could be hyperactivity. And people who have ADHD, they don't foresee consequences, and so they do end up having accidents and things like that. And so I know that you're 70 years old, but getting some kind of test might help you make sense of what your life experience has been so far, and may help you in the next stage of your life here. So I recommend that.
So I'm going to do a couple of things.
Well,
I'll
I'm not
send
quite
you.
70 years old.
Oh, almost 7. I'm sorry. I put you into a different decade.
People do that. Mark, let me send you. I'm so thankful for the words you say. I'll send you Every Man's Bible, and also the One Year Bible for Men. And I want you to have a copy of Every Believer's Thought Life. We'll let you, if you give us your contact info, or we can tell you now, we'll tell you about the other resources that are there for you. And I really feel for you, and I'm so grateful that you would call us. And God bless you and your wife. Intimacy in marriage, it's a graduate level course for guys that have a difficult time loving their spouse. It really is amazing the kind of insight you leave there with, and they tell you to do certain things, and it just opens up the doors of acceptance and love. One of the comments is getting a PhD in the wounds of your spouse. A lot of us, we don't want to hear about it, or we expect them to get over it, things like that. But, oh, man, it's just a different way of thinking, and I hope that you can come to that. I hope everybody can come to that. And if you don't know about it, look it up on newlife.com, or just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and we'll tell you all about it. Larry Sonnenberg is in the studio, and Claire, we're going to go to your call next, so hang on there. Larry, what do you have today?
Well, you segued real well into a testimony I want to give about intimacy in marriage. Tomorrow is when it begins, and this is your last chance, folks. Don't miss out. But here's what one man said last time he attended here. My life before coming to this weekend was hopeless, helpless, and full of misunderstanding of my spouse's motivations and intentions. This weekend has been above all healing. I leave here with the knowledge that even though we live in a world filled with sin and pain, God has given each one of us the ability to live a life full of love, care, hope, intimacy, and happiness, a mirror of the restoration that is to come. If this workshop was incorporated into the educational system, the world would be a better place.
So true.
Awesome.
So
great.
Folks, don't miss it. I mean, we're going to continue to do these workshops. It's not like they're over. But this will be Mylan Kay's last one, and it's pretty special since they have done this for so many years and done it so well.
Yeah. So you could help somebody attend if you've been through and it impacted your life with a scholarship. You could give just in general because you want to help us help others. we'll send you 100 Days to Freedom from Shame as our way of saying thank you. And joining thousands of others in Club New Life at $35 a month, we'll send you the entire 8-book 100-day devotional series, which includes 100 Days to Freedom from Anxiety, 100 Days to Freedom from Depression, 100 Days of Character, 100 Days of Prayer, Peace, things like that. I think you'll really, really love the whole series, and the covers are beautiful, and it's so well done with devotional material, scripture, great quotes, and then a prayer at the end that anybody can pray. Anything else you want to say, Larry?
I just want to give a shout out too for what you were saying about Rick Tandy, because I had a concussion and went to him and had similar experience. It's an amazing experience. So
it really is.
Yeah, it's hard to even explain.
Yeah, it is, and yet it's all scientifically based, great research, and I'll guarantee you, if it wasn't effective and miraculous, Rick would not dedicate his life to it. But he essentially stopped seeing people, and because he just wanted to have more time to help people through this process. We can tell you about that if you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. Thank you, Larry,
Alrighty.
for that.
Thank
Appreciate you. And anybody, whatever you need or whatever you're confused about, if you call us, we can sure help you with that. Absolutely. Now, let's go to Claire from Chicago, Illinois, and we're glad that you called, Claire, and we're happy to get to your phone call. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi, thanks so much. Good. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I appreciate the help you guys give every day so much. Every day I learn something, and thank you for that. I heard you talking about difficult conversations at the beginning of the show and was calling in with a question about that because I have one that's going to be coming up, and I'm just looking for the best way to handle it.
All right.
It's probably not going to be until summer, but it will come up. One of my very good friends has a photography business that she does on the side, and it's going to come up that we do not want to use her for a particular engagement. And
Ouch.
I don't know how to have that conversation.
Okay. Well, this may be beyond our ability to answer. That's a tough one. So, but we're gonna figure it out at the break. We'll give you some help when we come back. You're listening to New Life Live, and we're so grateful that we get to do this every day. Thanks to our supporters. We've always had partnerships with our supporters, and thank you for doing that. If you're not one, how about joining today by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'll be back.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Stephen Arterburn from New Life Ministries. We know that Christian counseling changes lives. We hear evidence of that every day.
My relationships with my husband, with my friends, with my family are much richer and deeper and honest. Particularly my relationship with God, I see Him in a more accurate form and begin to trust Him more. There's joy and there's peace because I have the internal tools that I can trust. So it's radically changed my life. I'm just not even the same person.
Our nationwide network of licensed Christian counselors means there is help available near you.
Take the leap, jump in, and go for it. It's changed my life completely.
You don't have to be stuck where you are, but you can't really expect to change unless you take action. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. It could be the start of a whole new life for you. Christian counseling works, and we can help. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE today. Someone who cares is always there at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're talking with Claire, and when I heard this, it sounded pretty difficult, but we got a couple ideas for you that might work. See what you think. Mark, go ahead and get started here.
Yeah, Claire. So I, if it were me, I would just want to have that conversation sooner rather than later. The summer's a long way to go. So I would, depending on the relationship that I have with the person, I might want to kind of just drop it into a conversation to, when I'm talking with them, to let them know, hey, and we've hired this other photographer, or my daughter has hired this other photographer. Have you ever heard of their work before? Or check out their website. Let me know what you think. I would try and maybe drop it in there. If you think it's going to be a deep hurt with the other person, then I would be brave enough. I challenge you to be brave enough just to bring that up and say, we're going to go with someone else. We know that you may have some hurt feelings about that, but these are the reasons, and we just want to free you up to, if she's going to attend the wedding, this other person, maybe the benefit for her is that you're going to attend the wedding, and we're going to free you up to do that.
It's not a wedding, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just assumed that.
It is a senior picture session.
Got it.
Okay, well, see, now nothing we've said works.
I just think it's the same thing. I would bring it up.
Yeah. And I
don't know if you guys have teenagers, but they're quite events these days, like the sessions.
So I have a question for you. Is this other person just a lot better? Is that what you're thinking?
Yes, very much so. Just different vision. My friend's business is just more of a hobby on the side. She does charge. She's done family portraits for us at no cost before, and I'm sure she's going to expect that she'll handle this need for us as well.
So you might want to say to her, the pictures are very, very competitive, and these are the photographers that the kids are using, and I've dreaded telling you that we're going to use one of these, but we just have to do this other person.
Yeah, I think if you just affirm your friend, I love you, we appreciate everything that you've done for us. We're going to use this other person here, though, and that might be disappointing, but it's we care about you still.
And
you guys make it sound so easy.
Yeah, well, we've got a video. Who did the video that we're aware of?
Mark did.
I did.
Mark, you did it on this issue, difficult conversations. So we'll be sure that she gets access to that. And thank you, Claire, for calling. I've got time, a little bit of time here. I want to get to it. Tawny from Everett, Washington, also listens on the New Life app. And how could we help? We don't have a lot of time, but we're going to give you what time we have.
So I am a brand new parent with a 2-week-old baby, but I also have ADHD. And my question is, how do I navigate and manage being overwhelmed and overstimulated when he's being feisty and I can't exactly tell him to take a beat?
And how much help are you getting from everybody else or anybody else?
Well, my husband is fantastic. He's amazing, and I have my parents here at the moment, and they're just invaluable. So right now I have all the help, but in about a week I'm not going to have as much help, and I'm a little worried that I'm going to be over everything.
Well, Tawny, I've heard this so often that it's so shocking to a new mom after she's just gone through birth, which is incredible. It's shocking that this baby that she's loved in the womb, now 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, it's really a hassle and life-changing, and it's hard and it's draining, and every bit of strain is out of you, and you just need a break. It's hard for that, but I think it's the reality that many moms go through. And there are two things I want to suggest, and then I'll turn it over to people with real answers. But the first one is you be sure you have somebody that you can hand your baby to if it gets even worse. If really stressed, that you can call this person, say, could I drop, whether it's parents, husband, whatever, could I drop the baby off? I need a break. That's important to have that in case things are worse, but also scheduling time to be you without the baby. I think if it's at all possible, it isn't always, but 3 days a week, if you could just have 2 hours of being you without the baby, that would be a great thing too. Alice, what are you thinking?
Oh, Tawny, I am also a mother to 3 kiddos, and they all overwhelm me, and they still do at times, and I struggle with anxiety. So I had a conversation with my provider about the risks and the benefits of whether or not I should continue medication if I was going to breastfeed, and how to alternate that with formula, because I decided that I would be a better mom if I continued with my antidepressant while I was nursing my children. And so we weighed that out. So consult with your provider about that. Tawny, there also have been many times, and there still are, where I need to leave the house if my child is cared for and my husband is there, another adult is there, but I got to walk around the block because my kids can drive me crazy. So parenting, it is crazy making, and having that safety plan and that outlet in place, it really helps, and it gets better, a lot better.
Yeah.
Is this your first child, Tawny?
Yes.
Yeah, and I remember when my son was born, this is 17, almost 18 years ago now, I remember this panic when we brought him home from the hospital that I had inside, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm responsible for this baby now. And I was 26 at the time, so yeah. I don't think it's uncommon that you might be having these thoughts. So I just kind of wanted to affirm you in that, and maybe look into, maybe there's a new moms group in your church or in your area that you can be involved in.
Almost everywhere you can find a new moms group or some kind of support there. I'm so glad you called. I'll send you my wife's 1-year Bible for women. I think you're going to love that. Every Believer's Thought Life, I'll send that. Any other resource you guys think? We have not done anything on post-birth reality, but I'll try to think of it. Anyway, I'm so glad that you called, and we'll get those to you. Anybody else struggling in any area, we do have counselors, coaches that are available for you. As we close out, I want this wonderful verse. My mentor asked me about how you doing with the fear of man, and it was just so profound. He was referring to Galatians 1:10, for I am now seeking the approval of, so am I now seeking the approval of man or God? Or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. Who are you trying to please? Please the Lord. That's the way to go. Intimacy in Marriage is tomorrow in Orange County. Restore any woman that's been hurt, February 24, 25, 26. Every Man's Battle, March 3rd in Dallas. Lose It for Life online. Come join me, Michelle Spatafora. She's worth it, just her. Oh, my goodness, we love her. Courageous Parents, April 1. That's about adult children and transforming your relation with them. Emotional Freedom, online, April the 15th. Now, if you want to be on the program ever, it's 1-800. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'll tell you about everything. And that's 1-800-639-5433. NewLife.com has it all there. You can visit us on Facebook and on Twitter. Hope and pray you will. You can download the New Life app. You can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. 5-star ratings are always helpful. We want to be 5 stars, and we want to see you on the other side of the stars one day in heaven. We love you. Thank you, Mark, Dr. Alice. Have a great day. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you can help us or you need help, it's the same number. See you.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.